Hello, Drawing Painting 2. I hope this finds you well. This is the first attempt of several instructional videos that I plan to put out over the next couple days, weeks. We're going to approach everything strictly through drawing and just focus on the drawing portion of the course. Unfortunately, because of the situation, I'm unable to get painting materials out to you, but we're going to still do the best we can with what we're given. If you were able to pick up materials, fantastic. A lot of you did, so everybody should be able to participate in this. If you do not have the materials, we're going to be just using paper and pencils for this. The first couple videos I want to do are just basic drawing videos on looking at form. What makes a three-dimensional form pop out? Basically, it's lighting. It's understanding the planes of the object and how light hits those planes and basically reveals it to the eye. So for this actual lesson, all you're going to need is a piece of paper and a pencil. You guys, I would recommend in the supplies I gave you, I would use an H. It's very, very light, and you're going to want the lines to be a little bit lighter. As you can see, if I attempt to draw with it, it's fairly light. You can't see it. So for instructional purposes, I'm going to use a 4B so you guys can see it. Now, I'm going to put one of these out every so often, and I want everybody to attempt to draw the lesson, draw what I want to draw. I'm going to use a cube for this first one. If you have a cube at home, a box, you can set it up in your environment, put a light on it, and you can draw it from life yourself. If not, you're able to use what I have given you right now, which is this setting this still life I have set up with the cube and my paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with creating basic lines first. Light lines, loose lines, and basically trying to set up this simple form on my paper. We're not going to use a ruler right now. I want you to try to attempt to draw everything from life. So I'm going to draw things very, very lightly. What I'll do from time to time on my end is I will try to line up my pencil and then carry it over to see how it lines up. It's going to be a little bit different from me on my end because the camera has a different angle. So once I can carry it over, it'll help me set up my form. And just to remind you, my perspective is different from the camera, so it's going to be a little bit off. So right now I'm going to start with very, very light lines. Keep them light because this way you can erase them. You don't want to press too hard. You don't want to leave an impression on your paper, whether it be through an indentation of your pencil or even a dark mark. So the way I'm going to start this is just creating the top plane of my cube for now. And as you can see, it's fairly loose. Don't get all caught up in it being perfect right away. We will adjust it. Hence why we keep things light. After a while, if you have too many guidelines, if you would like, you can take one of the erasers that I have given you. I would recommend using a vinyl eraser, which I have here. So you can erase any of the guides, lighten up any of the lines. That's perfectly fine. Remember, you're going to be using an H. I'm currently using a 4B, and you're not going to want to do that. Okay. All right. So once I have these light lines, I'm going to draw the vertical lines of my cube. Now, the nice thing to know about these is that the cube lines, the vertical lines, are all going to be parallel from one another. So they're going to be completely straight down. Okay. And no matter what, they're all going to be parallel from each other, same distance apart. Now, the question is, where do you cap off the bottoms here? You just have to eyeball it and see where exactly what makes sense for you. If it's a little too short, you can extend it a little bit, adjust it. Remember, keep lines light, keep them loose. You can carry over an angle. And I'm constantly adjusting the angles of my cube. I'll put on one plane at a time, and then once I put one plane on, I'm comparing the parts to the whole. I'm realizing some of my proportions are off. So I'll readjust them. And then once I have that, I'll constantly adjust my lines.